Alright, what's up everyone? To start out 2025 as my very first video for this year, I thought I would do something a little bit different and basically tell you guys about certain toys in this collection, like which ones were the hardest to get, which ones took the longest to get to me, and obviously which ones are my favorites. Obviously, if you know me very well, you should know what my favorite one out of all this collection is. Let's go ahead and get down to the video, shall we? So we're going to start off the top shelf here. Basically, all these four right here, these bobbleheads, or these soap bottles, not bobbleheads, sorry, these soap bottles, these didn't take very long. And plus, these probably are the cheapest out of all of my collection. These didn't cost probably, I think these two I got together. These ones costed maybe $20. So that was pretty good. These ones I got separate. Obviously, you guys know this one was the very first one I reviewed, and the very first one that started this collection. Basically, well, actually, no, that Pebbles right here was the one that started this collection. This was just the one that I reviewed first out of all of them. This one here, I believe I only got for maybe about $15, as I remember. The Secret Squirrel. I remember this one not costing very much either. Also, you can tell its nose painting is starting to singe. I think I only got this one. This was probably the most expensive one. I got this for about maybe $25 to like $27. I can't really remember which one the price was because it's been so long, obviously. But yeah, these four are the cheapest out of all the collection. Now, as I get to the smaller figures here, I will say that most of the push puppets here weren't too hard to get themselves, and they weren't too expensive. I think the only real expensive one is that Secret Squirrel right there. Obviously, again, with the soap bottle. The Fred Flintstone is probably the latest one out of all the push puppets I have. It really wasn't that expensive. It was probably, I think I remember it being around $10. That's pretty much the range of how much these actually cost. About $10. The Pebbles one is the only one I don't remember at all what the price was. I think it was much cheaper back then, but I think nowadays, since the prices really went up and the value with all these have just really skyrocketed, I think maybe the Pebbles one might be the cheapest one out of all. Actually, might be the cheapest one out of all of these. Yeah, and you got Bam Bam back there, which, like I mentioned in my review, his eyes scare the crap out of me. They're basically wide eyes. It's really weird. It's like the second figure that scares the crap out of me behind that right there, which we'll get to in a bit. Yogi Bear is missing one ear. I think that's what brought the value of this one down a little bit. This only costed me like maybe $20, but I'm pretty sure if it wasn't broken, it would probably cost me more. I'm guessing it would probably be about maybe 10% more if it had its other ear, but it's okay. I totally forgot about my adamant one. That's probably my most favorite out of all the push puppets I have, and it didn't cost very much either. It was probably the same price as the Pebbles and the Bam Bam, probably around like $10. And McGill Gorilla, I think I remember it being about 15 or 20 as well, because it is a relatively more expensive one than any of the cheaper ones. And obviously Secret Squirrel, like I said, I don't really believe this one was the most expensive. I do think, like I said, I paid around maybe $20 for it, maybe 15 at the minimum. But like I said, I can't really remember the prices of some of these because it's just been so long. When it comes to all these pencil sharpeners, I remember getting these for like $60. This one wasn't included, the Huckleberry Hound one. That one wasn't included. There was only 5 out of 6 of these at a time I could buy. And all of them costed me pretty good $60, which is really good for that time, actually, because these days, I think these would have also honestly costed you probably about like $200. That's what most sellers are putting these for this time of year, or these days maybe. I don't know. Now on to the ramp walkers. As you can see, my very first one I'm pointing at is Huckleberry Hound and Yogi Bear. This one was from the UK, and this one took 2 weeks to get to me. Believe it or not, I think I might have mentioned that in the review I did, but I can't remember though. But yeah, it took 2 weeks for this to get to me because it's from the UK, which is obviously understandable because it's overseas. I don't really understand why it took 2 weeks because I live in Ontario, and I don't really understand why it took that long to get to me. But, you know, it's worth it. It was worth the wait, and, you know, it's alright. Now, Top Cat and Benny, this one was probably the most expensive, and probably my favorite looking out of all the push puppets I have. This one, you might recognize definitely from the generic bumper from Boomerang, basically. I actually have two of these, the other one being this one, without the pull thing. But yeah, this one's probably the most recognizable out of all the Boomerang bumpers, so yeah, that's another thing. Then you got George Jetson and Astro. This is another one that was pretty good, and one that was at probably the most expensive push puppet I have. This one probably costed me about $50. I think that's what the price I remember it costing back in the day. $50 for this. All these both ones, Huckleberry Hound and Yogi Bear and Top Cat and Benny. These ones didn't cost very much. These ones probably, I think the Top Cat and Benny was probably the second most expensive, running probably about $30. And obviously the Huckleberry Hound and Yogi Bear, I think I remember only costing $20. So it wasn't that bad. All these painted figures here came together on the little platforms. I think it might have costed me like, what was it, $15-20 if I remember. I can't remember though. But why is this one down? You know, it's sometimes, here's a little story for you guys actually to get off topic. All the time I'm playing my games on this TV here, I'll be sitting right around here, and sometimes I'll just bump this thing, and I think that's what makes these toys fall sometimes. This one, this Huckleberry Hound right here, Huckleberry Hound, this Magilla Gorilla. Oh my gosh, how am I getting this wrong? This Quick Draw McGraw, is that right? Yes, it is. This Quick Draw McGraw right here does not have a platform, and plus it doesn't have another leg, so it has to like stand or sit on other toys or lay down or whatever, because it didn't have a platform on it. It might have been broken or something, but I think I have another one of these. No, I don't actually. I don't have another one of these. Other than that, all the rest of them really good and have a platform and really good painting. Now these three, I'm gonna get to the next three in a minute, but this one is the latest to my collection. This completed this 3-figure set of my Pixie and Dixie and Jinx set, basically, and I put them in the exact order of how they appeared in the Boomerang bumper, which basically Jinx appears on the left, Dixie in the middle, and Pixie on the very right. Yes, if you don't know, I do know the difference between Pixie and Dixie. That is how they are. That's how they recognize them. Alright, well, that's probably about it for the top shelf. Let's move down to level 2. Whoop! Now, as you know, out of all these, the most expensive one would have to be this Fred Flintstone on the Dino. And obviously, as you guys know, the meme on my channel, how this is creepy. It really is to me. It used to creep the crap out of me. Yeah, this is pretty good actually. Even though the scariest part about it is how it stares into your soul if it's looking straight at you. This is actually a pretty good toy. It cost me $224. And I still need to get the Barney Rubble one. The Barney Rubble one is more expensive and probably more rare. So I have to completely save money on that. You guys might notice some Smurfs back there. Those Smurfs aren't actually vintage at all. These are actually from 2013. I just didn't know where to put them. The 3 trapeze toys, I think I got 2 of them together. I think I got these 2 together. The Huckleberry Hound. I keep saying Huckleberry Hound. Yogi Bear and Secret Squirrel. I got these both together. If you guys remember the review on the channel in 2021, or was it 2020? I can't remember. But as you guys know, I got these together. I think these costed like $30 to $35, if I remember correctly, because these are probably semi-rare, but I think these days they go for a lot more now. And the Adamant one I got separately, This is actually a pretty good tricky trapeze. I like this one a lot, actually, too. Pixie and Dixie ceramic. I remember getting this. This costed like $60. So it was pretty much a pretty good deal. Because it's really good painted. It's in pretty good condition. It's got, obviously, their names on there and the shoe and stuff. And just overall nice paint job. And we already talked about that, so we're not going to get into that. This Pixie and Dixie squeaker right here, that was one of the very first ones that started the collection as well. I really don't need to talk too much about it, other than the fact that I don't remember what the price was. I think it might have been like $5 to $10. So this one was probably one of the cheaper ones in my collection as well. You got all these painted figures here. I think that I'm not even sure what the price was for these, but I think I remember it being $10 for all these, so that was pretty good. Oh yeah, these three. I was going to mention these three after I mentioned the Pixie and Dixie trio of toys. These ones as well, I've gotten almost directly after these two. So basically, I remember the full story about these three right here. I remember wanting these so badly because I remember they appeared in the Yogi Bear bumper. And these costed only $30, which is really good. For these three figures being from the 90s as well. This was only $30. And I do like this Ranger Ralph as well. I like that how his hands were kind of mispainted. It makes it look like he has green gloves on. I've mentioned that in my review, but you know, if you know, you know. But I do like the designs of these, you know. They're obviously on par with how they look in the cartoon and stuff. Is there anything on the shelf that I missed? I don't think so. So we're going to go down to level 3. Okay, so we got a lot less stuff on this shelf, obviously. So we're probably going to go down to level 4 pretty quickly. But I think I might explain some stories just to make this longer. This Pebbles plush, I can't remember if I got it with this Huckleberry Hound squeaker, but I remember getting it with something, but I can't remember though. It's the only plush out of all of them in this collection so far. And it's pretty good. I haven't handled it. The only time I've actually taken it out of here is to do the review I did on it. If you guys remember the review I did, I really said I really liked this this plush. So yeah, Huckleberry Hound Police Squeak. If you remember the Huckleberry Hound bumper, you might remember this figure here. Really cool, right? And I got obviously the newest thing in my collection, which is this Adamant Funko. It was created in 2000, and I got it a year before it turned vintage. So I guess you can say nowadays it is vintage, but I do try to keep my toy collection on the 90s, or not 90s, the 60s to the early 90s side. Still, even though the 2000s is 20 years now, I still like to keep my collection as vintage as possible. Which obviously, these three and these three are from the early 90s, so they're like kind of the cutoff for me. Okay, so I'll move on. I'll get to these two last because these ones are actually the most expensive. I got these little color TVs. You guys might remember from the white boomerang bumper that these pop up all over the place. And if you actually just move them, they're just basically like, you know, these little holographic things. If I move my camera around, you can see that they move. Awesome. I got these actually for $100. I remember this one very well. These costed $100 for 5 of these, and that's really cool. I did find more on eBay of different ones for about the same price. I thought about buying them, but I needed more important things first, as you guys might know. Those two right there are just basically sealed versions of these figures here. And I've already got those figures too. Hokey Wolf and Mr. Jinx. Hokey Wolf is, yep, right there. I already got that figure too. It's right there. See it? There it is. And I do think I have the Jinx figure too. Can't remember though. I don't think it's the exact figure though, but it's staying sealed. Alright, now these two. This one costed $114. This one was $200. Now, basically, expensive and price-wise, these ones don't even claim to be my favorites, even though they are rare, but I do like them, though. The George Jetson one, like I said, was $200, and it's got a nice design to it. You know, obviously, if you wind it up, they basically just hop around, basically. But they don't actually hop. They go up and down, basically, and you hear the sound effect to them. It's pretty cool, these figures here, even though they were pretty pricey. Alright, down to level 4, the last two figures. That is a Fred Drummer. Really cool toy to have. It doesn't work, but I think I remember getting this at the same time I got this. And this is a pretty good toy, even though it doesn't work. It's supposed to bang on the drums and stuff when you turn it on, but it sadly doesn't do that. And plus, it looks like it's got more of a tan than what the one on the Boomerang bumper had. But still very cool, though. And last but not least, we got the Fred 8-inch plastic toy. I remember saying this one was one of my favorites I bought. I still need to get the Barney one. Just like I need to get the Barney one of this right here. But anyways, this was pretty much simplistic stuff. Obviously, it's a plastic toy and it stands up pretty well. Well, basically that's it, guys. That's all I wanted to do to basically get another toy video out, I guess, even though it's not a toy video. I just wanted to get something out on this and let you guys know about the information you guys might have. If you're like new to this channel and you don't know about any of the value and everything like that, well, I told you basically half the stories. I didn't tell you guys the full stories because it would take a long time to explain, and plus I don't remember half of them, so that's another thing why I didn't really explain myself in full detail. But if you really listened to how I explained all of it, you should probably get the full detail. But yeah, I will be explaining more of this once I do my ultimate video. I still am planning on doing that. Just don't forget that I'm still doing that. Anyways, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I will talk about everything up here in a future video. Actually, no, I have that video already made, but it'll be posted after this. But anyways, guys, I really hope you enjoyed. I'm going to go ahead and close this because why not? Yeah, and I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to like and subscribe to the channel. And God bless.